Welcome everyone, this is the 31 Days of Dread, and I am your host, Peter A. DeLuca, aka PAD, and this is where we do one horror movie a day for the entire month of October. That's 30, if you can't count, that's 31 movies celebrating the greatest genre of them all, the greatest experimentational platform of them all, the greatest young filmmaker discoverer of them all. It is horror, 31 days coming at you. Look out, ghouls and ghosts, it gets spooky. Alright everyone, coming out of that intro hot, this is what I call the telethon portion of the podcast. This is where I pitch myself to you for your support. Your support means everything to me because we're fighting, the AKAPAD army is fighting against algorithms everywhere. Algorithms, I ate some cereal earlier today, I dumped it into my bowl and it was full of algorithms. Okay, bad joke. Alright. Sharing this podcast, telling your friends about it, leaving comments, leaving reviews. This is how we grow AKAPAD's audio audacity. Your support there is more valuable than anything other than like a high five in person, because I'd love a high five in person. AKAPADers, day 7, 31 Days of Dread. Welcome to the big show. No one loves horror movies more than me. No one obsesses over horror movies more than me. No one meets comic book deadlines that were pushed back twice more than me. That's right. We're done with the comic book deadline. My right shoulder is on fire because I did such a grind with coloring these last 2 comic book pages for this one publisher. Keep in mind too, the entire page is conceived and executed by myself from layout to final color samples, so it's a complete vision. I had to jump on the grind. Slept very little, had to go into the 95 today, but my shoulder is just killing me because I was like leaning, using my right hand to just color like for hours. I came home, got done around like 2 o'clock, and I didn't wrap up that page until 8. And that was when I was at the finish line. So I definitely have to get better with my comic book coloring. But we're talking Spiral, we're talking Saw, we're talking horror movies. I can't tell you how excited I was to watch this movie because it fired my imagination. The idea of Chris Rock in a movie like this, Samuel Jackson playing his father. I mean, these are cool like things, ideas, and Saw is perfectly made for like intimate and low budget and criminal, like procedural, like type of stuff. And what we got was nothing but disappointing. Chris Rock, some of his reactions didn't land. Really tough movie to watch. Hard to watch Chris Rock act. Chris Rock does Chris Rock bits, which are great because you're expecting them, but they didn't fit too well. Saw has a couple hooks, a couple swerves. These are all things to expect through the franchise. I can't give you too many updates about the story because I know the guy behind Saw, like the old guy, he dies. I think he dies of cancer, and I believe they've done 2 or 3 Saw movies since his death. So it's a whatever. I would say like the hook of the story is interesting. It's basically cops who are crooked going through the Saw game, stuff like that. Like the premise of Saw is so awesome though because it scares the living hell out of you. It really does. It's this idea of you like, and if you're not familiar with the gimmick of Saw, it's like you you essentially black out. You wake up, you're in the contraption, there's a recording, and the recording is going to tell you what you have to do it like sets up basically it's like I'm trying to think of a better like word for it's a lose-lose. So you get kidnapped, you wake up, you're in a lose-lose situation. You can hurt yourself further because like you've already been kidnapped and beat up and stuff, or you can complete this like one task, save yourself. You will be injured or you will die in some like horrific, torturous way. So it's a lose-lose, and you pay the price for why you're selected for Saul. And I just couldn't get behind this movie. Not at all. There was like a little bit of a phase where I felt like I was about to get into it because it was like this sweltering type of shoot. It looked like it was kind of like Predator 2, like hot summer day in LA. And you kind of have the heat and you have the pressure of tracking down the killer and your friends are dying all around you. The actual backstory of Chris Rock's character is pretty legit. It's pretty cool. He turned in a dirty cop. The entire department's against him. He's like a Serpico. Even Samuel Jackson's against him. I thought there was going to be a couple more revelations, but some of that didn't like flow out properly. So that's what I mean. Like too many hanging chads. But I did enjoy the Chris Rock backstory. I thought there was almost like that was a movie within a movie. Some of those flashbacks and revelations were cool. But what we want though, we want like a good hook of who the killer is and why at the end of Saw. We want like a legit ending of Saw continuing. All of those things. Failure. And keep in mind, I might have seen 2 or 3 Saw movies. Everyone remembers the first one. I can't tell you too much. Maybe I saw like the first 3, but I did enjoy the continuing storyline. I thought that was pretty strong. So everyone, non-recommendation, get ready. Day 8 of the 31 Days of Dread is tomorrow, of course, and we're out of James Wan. No more James Wan. We're back doing normal movies. Let's go. And to continue this telethon where we're not talking about high fives, there's other ways to support me. I'm a living professional. I'm a full-time freelancer. Anything you see on this, like here on this podcast or see my social media, I make everything. It's all made by me. That's a part of my pitch to you. And you can purchase professional services through AKAPAD.com. That's a pipeline to me if you want to send me a message. But also while you're there, you can sign up for my newsletter. You're going to get deals. You're going to get coupons. You're going to get 2 free trading cards mailed to you free worldwide. And they're 2 Wolfpack trading cards, 2 original characters, for upcoming comic book work. And speaking of comic books, you can go to Etsy, type in Uzi Susie, and that's where you're going to find my mini comic. You can purchase existing issues and pre-order upcoming issues along with bundles if you missed any like issue 1, 2, or 3 or whatever. There, Uzi Susie is waiting for you. And keep an eye on Indiegogo. A lot of my bigger comic book projects will be available through Indiegogo. All of those updates will be here on this podcast. So if you're a regular listener, I'll let you know. We can rock and roll from there. So everyone, thank you so much, and feel free to reach out to me on social media, AKAPad69, Instagram, and Xbox. That's right, you can play Halo with me. Just straight up AKAPad on Twitter, straight up AKAPad on the Facebook. My business page is there. My personal page is there. Hey, be a personal friend of mine. I don't care. Let's talk movies. Let's talk creativity. Let's talk fun, and just who cares? Do you like, the Transformer movies? I love them. We can talk about that all night. So meet me there and we'll rock and roll. Let's get talking. We got a movie to discuss.